Hey guys, I just wanted to say thank you for using my creator code whenever you purchase any Sims 4 DLC on the EA app or thesims.com. I receive a 5% commission each time you use my code, which means you're directly supporting me as a creator. I know there are a lot of codes floating around out there, so I am very grateful that you've chosen me to support in this way. Thank you so much. Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And we are still in Nordhaven, the brand new world that shipped with the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack. And surprise, surprise, we're going to build another home business today. That's what we're going to do. I feel like it's not a shocker at all. That was complete sarcasm. Please catch on. That was complete sarcasm. Yeah, we're going to build another home business today, and I'm really excited because this was actually inspired from an image I found on Pinterest that I have had pinned probably, I'd say at least for the past 3 years. Easily. That makes it sound like really huge and momentous that I'm actually doing this, but it's not. I finally found a way to kind of incorporate it, and I was really excited to be able to do that with this new expansion because it's perfect. It's exactly what I would envision. When I first found this picture on Pinterest, I was like, this would be really cool to kind of have like a studio apartment upstairs and some kind of business downstairs, right? And before we had this expansion, we could kind of sort of do that, but we were pretty limited, right? I mean, you could have like a restaurant or a retail space and you could have a quote unquote apartment upstairs, but it's definitely not the same. Wouldn't have functioned the same as it can now that we have the Businesses and Hobbies expansion. So I was really excited, and I love how this one came out. I really do. So this is built on, the lot name is the Old Foundry. Now I believe there was a pre-existing build here when you load up the game by default. I believe it was built by Ava Rotke. This is the first time that I bulldozed an existing lot in the new world, and that always pains me to do, especially since we have been having so many more creators actually contribute to lots that ship with packs. I always feel so bad. I feel really bad doing it, but I'm sorry, Ava, I did bulldoze your lot here. It was stunning, but I wanted to create something on this lot, and I just thought this was perfect because this is kind of the more industrial neighborhood of the two in Nordhaven, though there are, of course, very contemporary Scandinavian influences as well in some of the more modern architecture. So I thought that this would kind of be a nice mix, especially because the lot name is the Old Foundry. So I wanted to make this look like an older industrial building that has been transformed into not only an internet and board game cafe, yes, because that's what we're doing, but also a studio apartment upstairs. And I thought it came out super, super cute. I say finally as if it's been like a week or two since this pack came out. I don't even know. But I feel like I'm finally getting more comfortable integrating things from other packs with this new pack. Like the last build that I did, it was 3 businesses on one lot with an apartment upstairs. And that was my first time trying to use the rest of the catalog alongside everything that came with this new expansion. And it was really a challenge for me. And this one was less of a challenge. I felt more inclined to use other things in the catalog compared to just all the new stuff with this expansion. That's something that's like a me problem. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but the first build I did was base game and Businesses and Hobbies only, so I was very, very restricted. And I did that on purpose. I wanted to do that. And then the second build, I was like, no, go all out, use all of the packs, do your thing. And it was really, really hard to do. I feel it's very difficult to branch outside of all the new stuff because I get very excited. Like we have all these new objects and I'm like, I want to use as many of them as possible, but it is always very fun for me to see how it integrates with other packs too. So this was like the real test for me. And I really liked how this came out. Like I said, the interior for me, it was a huge challenge at first. I was like, I don't know how dark I want to go with the interior since I've got like black frame windows and everything. I don't know what vibe I really want to go for, but I thought having some more like modern contemporary elements with some rustic, almost boho. I hesitate saying boho. I think the boho's coming from my thought of using a bunch of like miscellaneous mismatched patterned rugs and stuff like that. I don't know, there's a few different influences in here, but I really liked the final product. And as you can see, the first thing we're doing is we're actually making a kind of like, I guess it's like a giant custom floating desk near this window here. This is the internet part of the cafe. Now, I've done this trick before in like apartments and other builds and whatnot. So basically, you grab a desk, you toss a computer on it, you size the desk down as much as you possibly can, make it look as though the computer is sitting on this wall shelf, and then you just use like a poof or something to cover up the desk, and you have the chair actually like clipped to the desk as well. It works perfectly. I play tested this and I was so thrilled that that still works. I haven't done it in so long, but I only did it to 3 computers because I didn't want every single sim that comes to your business to just sit at a computer. It seemed a little bit boring to me, but I really, really liked how it looks, and I was so thrilled that it still worked. Like, this trick is great. I don't even remember where I originally saw this. It was years ago at this point, so I have no idea who first came up with it, but amazing trick, and I have used it in builds before, and it's worked every time. It's great. I was also really trying to use at least one of the new fireplaces in here because I thought it would be super cozy, but I added, I think, far too many windows to find a really good spot to put it. And when I say board game cafe, I should be very specific here. I loved the idea. My dear friend Reese gave it to me. He was like, make a board game cafe. And I was like, that's a great idea. And I was trying to think of the games that we actually have in-game. A lot of them are via the card table, right? And I thought, yeah, I could add a few card tables, but it's going to be difficult then to make this look not super cluttered. And I felt like it was going to start throwing off the vibe if I just had a bunch of card tables everywhere. They didn't really fit the style. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of the card tables we have are just like plastic and metal. That, at least that's what it seems like with the textures. So what I decided to do was add the Who's Up party game from Lovestruck. I put one here in this kind of like centralized couch hangout location. And then in kind of the little sunroom, there is a 2-seater couch with another one of those games. So one of the activities, I was relieved to see that this was integrated with the cross-pack compatibility. But one of the activities that I did set when I was playtesting this was play Who's Up party games. So Sims will play that game. They'll sit down and they'll play. Some of the other things that I tested was, I think some of the default, I did the cafe default, which was drink coffee, eat food, and read books, I think. And then I added the Who's Up party games, and then I added writing as an activity because that's what stereotypically I think a lot of people would come to a place like this to jump onto the computers and maybe do some writing or programming or whatever. Now, here's the thing. I talked about this on Blue Sky. I did like a little bit of a thread. Now, my Sims only prioritized, it was baffling to me. So when I playtested this, they prioritized reading books over anything else at first. So they would take out a book from the bookshelf, they'd start reading it, then they would leave it there and go get another book. So there were just books littering the interior. And I was like, what are y'all doing? Like, what are you doing? So there were books everywhere and I was manually putting them away. And I was like, okay, now I'm getting frustrated. I'm going to ditch that activity. So I got rid of that activity, which left drink coffee, eat food, play Who's Up party games, and write. Those Sims, all they did, I'm not kidding, I didn't see a single Sim go on a computer. I didn't see a single Sim play that game. All those Sims did was order like a coffee, start drinking it, put it down, order another one, double fist said coffees, put one down, and then go order food. They'd always finish the food, but they'd never finish the coffees. I saw a single customer order like 6 different items. And then when they're putting down these coffees, it would always be on the stack of books near that little love seat, on the toilet in the one bathroom, or they just leave them on the tables. And I was like, oh my goodness. So this needs a little bit of fine tuning. It really does. It needs some fine tuning because they were prioritizing those activities over anything else. On the plus side, my testing sim was making bank because the queue, as she was tending the specialty coffee bar, the queue was like miles long and simoleons just kept rolling in because Sims just kept buying more and more items. So it was a good money maker, but Sims were not doing all the activities that were designated for this lot. So I was a little bit like, part of me was frustrated because it shouldn't be functioning that way. And the other part of me was like, well, I'm having very successful business days here because the profits were like through the roof. And when I had reading books on there as an activity, profits were not high at all. Like they were just going for books, and I barely sold anything in regards to coffee or food. So it needs some balancing. It needs some tweaking. That was with my experimentation. I don't know if anybody else has experienced anything like that, but I know I just talked through the entire interior as well. There were some tables, you saw them. And then this is the one and only bathroom. That's my other thing. I had Sims come in here, sit on the toilet for like in-game, like 20 seconds, and then waddle out of the building so they didn't go. And then I had someone actually pee on the floor. So even though there's a bathroom available, they either like don't use it at all, or they kind of use it and then leave unfulfilled anyway. It was very, very odd to me. I did not understand that. Like, please, there is a bathroom available. Please don't pee on my floor. Anyway, we are upstairs in the studio apartment. Now, this ended up being a very, very small unit. Very similar to my first build. I went with an industrial vibe, really just to match obviously the entire exterior, but also the downstairs business as well. So I used this bed from the industrial loft kit, ? I think that's it. I think that's where it came from, as well as the matching dresser. And I did use some beam work just to kind of, I'll say quote unquote, separate the space. It's very, very open. It is not separate from anything at all. But before anybody says it, even in their brains, I'm starting to lay out the living room, and then on that left wall is going to be the kitchen. I didn't realize that they should probably have a bathroom until I furnished almost the entire living room. It was kind of embarrassing. I sat there and I was like, wait, where's their oh my God, April, you didn't give them a bathroom. Are you kidding? I was almost lazy enough where I was saying to myself, they can just go downstairs. It'll be fine. But there's no shower. It was a ridiculous thought. It was me being purely lazy. Okay, I admit it. I had a moment where I was like, oh, I'm going to be ultra lazy. I am. It's too bad. But I didn't. I did not do it. I did not be ultra lazy. I ended up realizing it probably right about here. I was looking at the space and I thought, wait a second. Something's missing. They need a bathroom now. So I basically shift everything kind of inwards. So there's almost like a little tiny hallway from this front door into the kitchen. And then there's a door almost right off that little hallway that goes into the bathroom. And I had to ditch the fireplace because I didn't have space for it. And I didn't want to get rid of this big open archway door thing from the industrial loft kit as well onto the private balcony, because I thought that was way too perfect to get rid of. So that's where I end up putting the bathroom. It's right here. It makes the living space and dining space very tiny, but I made it work. In fact, I kind of liked it more because I put some furniture pieces on weird angles just to make it look very haphazardly put together. You know what I mean? Like, not everything has a perfect place because there really isn't space for everything to have a place. So it was kind of nice. I used this little love seat from the Crystal Creations kit. I just added a little 2-seater dining table. However, my sim did want to prioritize going out and eating at the dining table on the little private balcony over this one here in the apartment. And I think it's probably because of that flower arrangement. Some of them block your sim's ability to eat at this table and some of them don't. It doesn't really make that much sense. I'm assuming that was probably why I did not get rid of that flower arrangement to test it. So just be aware of that. But this is of course, a full bathroom. It's pretty much almost identical to the one downstairs, just a little less black, I think. It's a little bit lighter. And then here on the private little balcony, I do add a couple of love seats and some candles. And we've got a grill out here, as well as a 4-seater dining table, and then a decorative umbrella that also came with this expansion pack. So the sim runs their business downstairs, and maybe sometimes they entertain up here on their little balcony. I thought that was really nice. It makes the studio apartment seem less cramped, you know? But that is pretty much it for this build. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, and I will catch you next time I post a video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.